Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of our SoCal Life. Today's adventure, this week's adventure, takes us down to Mount Palomar, I think it is. The SoCal Bullitt Owners Club was kind enough to invite us along on a drive today. So we're going to be meeting up with them at Brea Mall and then heading down to Palomar Mountain to have a bit of lunch on the mountainside at a cafe, and then we're going to be heading to an overlook and checking out the scenery. So come along and join us, won't you?
I hope they don't charge us for water.
Okay, so it occurred to me that not everyone may know what a Bullitt is. So in 2001, well, actually, let me backtrack a little bit. Back in 1968, I think it was, a Steve McQueen movie came out called Bullitt, in which he played the titular character, Lieutenant Frank Bullitt.
It's
In this movie, there's a car chase, and it's one of the more iconic Hollywood car chases from the 60s. And in it, Steve McQueen's character, Frank Bullitt, he's a cop, and he's chasing this black Dodge Charger through the streets of San Francisco. And
not a Mustang.
in the movie, Frank Bullitt drives a 1968 Highland Green Ford Mustang GT Fastback. There's this whole, it's like a 10-minute car chase through the streets of San Francisco, through the hills, through everywhere, and ends in a fiery crash outside of San Francisco, and the guys in the black Dodge die and everything. And so it's a whole big thing. It's like it's a murder. The movie itself is like a murder mystery. So fast forward to 2001. There hasn't been a special edition Mustang put out by Ford in quite a number of years. They had a time in the late 60s and 70s when they had special edition Mustangs like the Mach 1, the Boss Mustang, the California Special, etc. Usually they were just like paint and stripe, what are called paint and stripe packages, where it was just like little decorative add-ons. But they also had like suspension and performance upgrades to the engine and drivetrain. There hasn't been a special edition Mustang in quite some time. The last one that wasn't like the Cobra, the special vehicle team's version of the Mustang, was, I believe, the 1984 20th anniversary Mustang. And it was literally basically just a special paint color and a little emblem they stuck on the dashboard that said 20th anniversary. That was it. So fast forward to 2001, Mustang's riding a wave of success since its redesign in 94 brought it back to its more classic design cue roots. And then in 99, it was refreshed and given sharper edges and, kind of lost that used bar of soap 90s aesthete, if you will, and had sharper creases, but it was still very distinctly Mustang. And Ford decided they would release a Bullitt Mustang, which basically took the Mustang GT, threw in some performance and suspension upgrades, a more growly exhaust system on it, and it was available in 3 colors. Well, one was a dark blue, I can't remember the name of it. Another was black, and then Highland Green, which they brought back specifically for the Bullitt Mustang. Why they didn't just release them in Highland Green, I think it was because Ford didn't know if they would be able to sell them all if they didn't give people some choice in color. Because, there's always going to be the people who are like, oh, I want the Bullitt Mustang, but I don't want it in Bullitt Green. I want it, in a color that wasn't in the movie or something. Stupid people like that. But I digress. And so they released the Bullitt in 2001 in a limited number. The interior was also like retro style. It had retro font on the gauge cluster, and the seat stitching was very reminiscent of a late 60s Mustang. And it was a very cool looking car. It had special bumpers and on it and everything. And it was a smash hit. People were snapping them up off car lots as soon as they hit. And riding that wave of success, in 2003, Ford released the Mach 1 Mustang, which again was another big hit. And so since then, every few years they release a special edition, and in 2008 they released the Bullitt again. This time to commemorate the 40th anniversary of the movie, and also because the 2005 to 2009 Mustang had more of the fastback design. So it was a very fitting special edition throwback to put on that particular model of Mustang. And they looked really nice. They did the same interior retro things where they threw in, but they also added a turned aluminum dashboard. It was a more powerful GT Mustang with performance upgrades, suspension upgrades, brake upgrades. And again, it was a huge hit. And because of those two special edition late model Mustangs, coupled with the people who got classic 68 fastbacks and made them, had them restored them to look like the Steve McQueen Mustang, there's a cult following of Bullitt Mustangs. So that's why there's the SoCal Bullitt Owners Club. It's a club of people who own Bullitt specific Mustangs, either classic, 2001, or 2008. And our friends, Alex and Jim, are both Mustang enthusiasts like myself, but Jim specifically for Bullitt Mustangs. And he's owned two of them, and the one he currently has is a 2008. And they were nice enough to invite us along on this road trip. So that's a little bit of backstory there for you on the Bullitt Mustang and how we got to join them on the trip.
Not a Mustang.
So here we are up here at Henshaw Lake Lookout, and it's white, the view. And we haven't gotten much filming done with the Bullits because, well, it's been a lot of twisty canyon driving, and they're not staying in one place for very long. So we're gonna camp out here and see if we can catch a little view of all of them leaving, all the Bullitt Mustangs. Talking to our good friend Alex.
There are at least 4, so I figure if when in doubt, call them Mike.
He left his harness over there.
Okay, so is it like a search and rescue?
I don't know, because
Well,
they were towing
there's-
something underneath and they left it. So they're doing it backwards if they're rescuing someone.
Yeah.
He's over there still. You're going the wrong way.
But you left them there. What are you doing?
Man, already. Yeah, they're just dropping on water.
It's
already. I
surprise.
want to fly the drone over the lake real quick. You're interfering.
It's way too windy out there. It
Is
was
it?
having all kinds of trouble.
Look like it's
Hey everyone, James again. I just wanted to let you know we figured out. I don't know if you noticed, but there was a little bit of a mystery about what the helicopters are doing flying around the lookout.
They're stealing cars. Oh, no, they're not.
It's also the reason we didn't get much drone footage because we were, getting warnings that maybe we shouldn't be flying the drone around the helicopters. But they were like flying around and they had these like weird harnesses, and we never saw them actually like carry anyone or anything in the harnesses. Well, as we were leaving and driving back down the mountain, taking a road that we didn't take up the mountain, we came across a little construction area or a work zone area, and we discovered that the helicopters were actually ferrying in utility poles that they were replacing on the mountainside. And we were seeing them as they were leaving from dropping off the poles and circling around to wherever they were, picking them up on the other side of the mountain and then carrying them to the mountain, dropping them off, and then circling around, flying back in front of where we were. So that was the mystery of the circling helicopters with the empty harnesses.
What a day of driving. And
Right?
driving.
And driving.
And we drove some too.
Yeah, we're
Up a mountain, down a mountain, around a mountain.
Yep. And it discovered two things.
Two things.
Two things among many.
Number
Two
one.
in particular. Number one, my car does not like twisty mountain roads.
It really didn't like twisty mountain roads.
And I don't know if it was because I was trying to keep up with the group of much more powerful Mustangs.
I don't think so,
myself.
because your car, they couldn't go any faster than you could.
That's true.
Those roads are like 25 miles an hour because you're like literally turning.
Yeah, some of those.
You're turning it's hairpin turns up the mountain.
Yeah,
so.
those switchbacks, man. The stopping and going and just my transmission did not like all the shifting up and down and up and down and up and down. But we're fine. Everything's cool now. It was just getting a little persnickety back for a little bit there. But it was fun. Also, number two, we discovered the cafe we went to charges for freaking water.
They charged us something for water.
Yeah, like $2.25 each for water. So it was like
And-
almost $5 for 2 tap waters.
The audacity of charging for tap water when you don't even serve delicious meat at your
Yeah,
establishment.
it was a vegetarian cafe.
It was a vegetarian cafe. Now, it's the only place up there to eat, so you kind of don't have a choice.
Yeah.
But Yeah.
But the scenery was gorgeous. The drive
scenery was gorgeous.
was
I
very
wish
pretty.
we had gone to the observatory.
I wish we had too. We were
But-
originally supposed to go to observatory and then go to the Outlook, but the club people decided to nix the observatory and just go straight to the Outlook. And even our friend Alex, who invited us, said it was kind of a weird. This get together was kind of weird in that they didn't really get together so much as just drive, eat lunch, drive, stand for 5 minutes, and then leave. It was still interesting. It's something I've always wanted to do. Was go on a Mustang Club outing thing, and but now I've done that and check it off my bucket list.
We'll never have to do it again.
Tim was a good sport.
What? Look, okay, it's not my thing. It was fine. It's just not my thing. Like, I understand that maybe this wasn't typical because they didn't stop and socialize as much, but even if you did, like, I just guess, like, I didn't really get it.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping we would get to do like some like quasi interviews.
Yeah.
But that we weren't still long enough.
Look at the baby.
Oh, tiny cows.
Look at the baby.
Oh, look at the happy little cow.
Oh, so happy. They don't even know what's gonna happen to them.
Right?
Oh, babies.
Where was I?
Interviews.
Yeah, but the only place we were standing long enough, really, to talk to anyone was at lunch, and most of that time was spent standing in line to order lunch.
If they ever did one down the PCH on the coast, I'm sure we'd want to maybe tag along and do that, or maybe we just want to drive the coast without having to worry about like keeping place in line. Because frankly, I was a little weirded because like I didn't know, like, are we supposed to be in front of anyone? Like, if we cut in line, are we doing a bad thing? Like, I don't, like, it was weird. So
Yeah.
I felt like kind of like an outlander, and I didn't know if we were supposed to be
Right.
doing things or being in a certain order or whatever. So
I think car shows are more my thing.
yeah, like even I really enjoy car shows. Like, I like seeing the different cars. So yeah, I think you're right. I think maybe like car shows are more like my thing too.
I was having a little bit of PTSD from having little flashbacks of our trip across the desert in the Cougar. That was not pleasant. Yeah, I think if they did something more local, maybe we'd join them again, but I think we'll respectfully pass on long trips.
Yeah,
And thank you, everyone, for welcoming us and inviting us along. And thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and what am I forgetting?
Comment?
Comment. Yes, comment. Leave a comment. We like comments. So yeah, I guess we'll see you on the next Our SoCal Life.